Banana Hands and Lynch deserve to be fired if Jimmy Two Picks is not dealt. Deadline is almost here and no news. Jimmy Two Picks money needs to go. Let's talk about that right now. How long can the 49ers afford to hang on to Jimmy Two Picks and not be criticized? Or is it already in the criticism territory?
I think it's already in criticized territory.
Yeah.
Its values seem to drop. I mean, it seems to be dropping by the moment. And I mean, they can afford as long as to the deadline tomorrow because they need that cap. They need that cap space. I don't know if there's a possibility of other moves that they could do, that they could possibly do, an Armstead restructure, Ward restructure that might get them to where they need to be under the cap. But if they could do those moves plus move Jimmy Garoppolo, they could use that space to make their roster even better. There's still free agents out there that they could actually sign. So this is really holding them back. And for me, the only reason why I would kind of hold on is that I know there's a $7.8 million injury guarantee. So I think the deal with that is if they cut him, the Niners are on the hook for that unless he gets signed by another team.
Correct.
I think Jimmy gets that check, he gets cash, and the Niners, that's tied up cap space that becomes cleared once Jimmy signs with the team. Is that correct, Jack?
Correct. That's right.
I don't think the Niners just want to hand Jimmy Garoppolo a $7.5 million parting gift after he did what he did. I think I'm just saying. If they've given him enough, I mean, I'd probably give him $100 million.
I mean, you could feasibly use that essentially because you do need to save space to sign your draft pick. So you could essentially give him the check. He'll probably more than likely sign with somebody. So you'll get that money back. Then you get that money back. You use that money to sign your draft picks. You have a little bit left over. But I don't think they can wait. I think they got to make a move.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because they can probably do a bunch of restructures and get themselves to where they're over. They're under the cap by 1:00 tomorrow. We haven't even seen the numbers yet on this Charvarius Ward contract. That's something to think about because usually we saw a lot of the deals that came out yesterday. We've already been able to see the numbers and the structure. So we haven't seen that yet. None of these things are official till tomorrow, but I think it might throw up a little bit of a red flag that we haven't seen those numbers yet on this deal with Ward. Because depending on, they're saying almost $27 million was guaranteed. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. But we don't know what the signing bonus was, so we can't really get an idea of what the number is. We can't tell if it's $9 million in year one or if it's just, what it is. So I think we have until 1:00 tomorrow. I don't know how far along the 49ers go into this with Garoppolo on their roster. They can get by for maybe a day, but that's beyond that. It's going to become very tough. They're going to have to do
surgery. And the Niners are thinking, well, maybe it'll go back up later on in the year, like as has been reported during training camp or preseason, once he's healthy and throwing, and some team gets desperate because their quarterback is hurt. I think that's what they're hoping so that must mean that the offer for him is a day 3 pick at this point. Because if they just hold on to him for another year, they get a third-round comp pick for him next year. They must be thinking that they can do better. But what's funny is, imagine if they had traded him at the beginning of February, right after their season ended. Because Jimmy allegedly was giving a good faith effort to rehab without surgery, right? The plan wasn't, I'm going to get surgery. It was, I'm going to try this first. What if you traded him right then? When he told people, I don't need surgery. You know what I mean? Thumb maybe, I don't need surgery. What was his value in early February? The Niners waited. They knew he was hurt. And then Jimmy was like, oh, you know what? I need surgery. I tried it the other way. It just didn't work. I gave it honest Abe here. I got to do sorry. I'm just saying. Why did they wait? Tripping. They should have been traded him by now. Should have been traded him.
Yeah, I don't think other teams, though, wanted to do the trade at that point for the same reason that you just mentioned, because they all knew, everybody knew that he was injured on February 1, because that's what he said.
Right.
Because that's when they tried to downplay it, but then Garoppolo came out and did his whole thing.
I think there's something else here, too. I don't think teams value him that high. I know that injury is playing a part, but I think they see the same things that some of the things that we've seen is that
that's the main point here.
He's not that good, right? And that's why That's why, and you're definitely not that interested in a quarterback that's not that good and injured, right? We've seen
and
teams out
expensive
there
and not on the free agent market. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, you have to trade for him and then pay him $27 million.
Yeah, right. I mean, Carson Wentz was off injured quarterback. Drew Brees was signed when he was originally signed. He was coming off of surgery. Like, there's been guys that are coming off surgeries that get signed. It's just that this guy, there's a lot of questions about, even when he's healthy and he's on the field. And then he's shown even if he was healthy, he's shown an inability to stay healthy. So, there's all of those things. And then on top of that, just with anything else, it's supply and demand. I think the Niners coming into this offseason, oh, wow, there's not going to be a lot of quarterbacks out there for these teams. So teams need quarterbacks. No, there was a bunch out there.
Also, I tweeted a couple of weeks ago that if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't start for the 49ers this season, and he may if they keep him, he won't start anywhere. And people thought it was a hot take at the time, but I think he's kind of losing this game of musical chairs. He might be the last dude without a chair when the music stops. We're getting real close. I mean, if it's not Indianapolis, I'm not sure where it is. Just saying.
Yeah, well, whoever loses out on Watson here is going to need a quarterback as well, Carolina or New Orleans. One of those two, if they're the top two picks, one of those two is going to need a quarterback as well. There's places for guys to go. But I agree with it. I think there's a lot of questions marks around Jimmy Garoppolo. I find it. I had my initial thought yesterday when we heard of the Travarius Ward signing was that meant there was something on the hook for Garoppolo. I just have a feeling that we're going to hear something before 1 o'clock tomorrow. It's either going to be him or it's going to be a number of re-signings all at once that we're going to hear about.
Will SF have a more balanced offense in 2022 with Trey Lance? You mean Deshaun Watson? Trey Lance. More balanced? They might run even more with Trey Lance, but I think they'll stretch the field. I think it'll be different. I don't know so maybe not. I don't know how you define balanced.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Niners have a balanced offense. They run the ball. They're one of the few teams in the league.
One of the few teams, right?
Say a balanced offense, right? If you're saying by are they going to throw more? No, because they have a balanced offense.
Yeah.
Zach Carter says Jimmy sure was hanging out with the Texan staff and players quite a lot. Week 17, just saying. Yeah, I took a video of that and posted it on my YouTube before the game. Just
of course you did.
He was like, Brandon Cooks, what's up, man? He knew every coach. He spent so much time with the Texans before that game. He's such a politician. He's like, I might have to play for you. Let me make sure this guy likes me. Make sure this guy likes me. Hey, what's up, man? So smart. I'm doing the same thing.
I do think some teams are going to be interested. It's just like Jack said before, they're going to be interested after the whole Deshaun Watson gets. If I'm Carolina, I'm not going to trade for Jimmy until I know that I'm out of the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, and then I'll be interested in Jimmy. But the other thing is, some of these teams might be interested in Jimmy, but not at $25 million. They'll be interested in Jimmy in free agency when they can just sign him at what they need. Because I know you can trade for him and then you can extend him, but why do you want to extend an oft injured guy?
You don't.
Well, that what you just said right there, Coach, is why we've heard a lot of folks saying, well, maybe did Garoppolo wait until this point to be able to control his own destiny and where he goes? And I think that right there is a reason why he shouldn't have. If that's what his group tried to do, they're going to end up costing the money because he's not going to get $27 million on the open market.
No, Russ Button says they really overestimated themselves. They really believed all the hype. And now they're realizing that the rest of the league is like, well, I mean, we could have Marcus Mariota. It's like, oh man, that's a come down. Sorry, you're the Marcus Mariota level. It's like you have to sit with the not cool kids at Ledge anymore. Sorry, Jimmy. You used to be able to sit over here, but now you got to sit with Marcus Mariota. Sorry, at lunch. I'm sorry. It's just what happened. Okay, Russ Button says Jimmy Garoppolo in a pick to Texas for D. Watson, then trade D. Watson to New Orleans for picks. Why? Texas desperate for a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo can't stop. Post 316 trade to Texas to Houston. Yeah, I think it'd be great to send Jimmy Garoppolo to the Houston Texans. That would be the best. I think he deserves it. And I think it'd be cool if the Niners got Trey Lance and Deshaun Watson on the same team so they could have two quarterbacks on the field. Why not? Two balls.
I didn't realize you were a big fan of the Houston Texans. You want them to make the playoffs next year, Grant?
I do. I'm a big fan of everything that they got going. Lovie Smith.
Then they can use Trey Lance at running back, just like in the Cardinals.
There you go. Gary Dodson says Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield for Jimmy Garoppolo, straight swap. No. But I was thinking, what about Baker Mayfield to Seattle? Let's start there. Do you think that'd be something that the Seahawks would entertain?
I would love that. Maybe the Niners defense could actually get some picks if they got to play
I'm not saying
Baker.
it's a good move, something they should do. Does it seem like something Pete Carroll would do? Go after someone like Baker? I think it is.
And pay him?
Yes, I think he would. I don't think he wants to rebuild, man. I don't see it. A rookie quarterback at his age, he's a defensive guy. What the hell is he going to do? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, but let me say, how did he win his last Super Bowl?
True. How he won it with that cover 3 when people were like, oh my God, cover 3? What's that? Now he's like, I can't run that anymore.
He built it with a young quarterback and an elite defense. So what do older people love to run it back to when the days were good and
he's not even close to an elite defense though.
But that's why you trade your franchise quarterback to try to,
All right. Why did the Niners get 5 compensatory picks for? Okay, let's talk about it. The Niners got 5 compensatory picks. They got 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 6th, 1 in the 7th.
Yeah.
How you guys feel about it?
I think it's really good. Those two, the 2 in the 3rd are from the coaches, the minority coaches and GM GM hire that they had, and then they have the 2 6 and the 7th were from the player transitions. They were expecting them all to be in the 7th, so those 2 in the 6th were nice. It's good. The 49ers get 3 picks in the first 2 days of the draft, just like they would have if they had a first round pick, and they can move around on the board as much as they need to, because right now they have 3 picks in the 3rd round, but one of those is going to go to Miami as part of the trade last year for Trey Lance.
And they might need, like you kind of hinted at, they might need to use those picks to move up to get a player to fill a roster spot that needs to play. Like, I know they don't want to play. I know they like to let rookies simmer for a little, for a couple of years and all that, but you might need like a guy in the 2nd round or, move up in the late 1st or something like that to actually play safety or something this year.
What's the least you would take for Jimmy Garoppolo, guys?
Anything. I said 2 boxes of Samoas, and a 6th now.
Seriously, whatever. I don't know.
Just a pick. I mean, if you just get anything for him, I mean, really. I mean, if you're going to move off of him and you're for sure going to do it, and that's the direction you want to take, then just take whatever you want. It sounds to me like that's not the direction that they're leaning in. That's why they are where they are.
I mean, they're best in day 3 anyway, right? Just trade him for a round 5 pick. That's where you thrive. Round 5, round 6. I don't understand what the big deal is. I think to me, it's just about saving face, saying we said we were going to get this for Jimmy Garoppolo. We got it. Because as soon as they trade him for a 6th, I come in being like, ha, I told you so. What were you thinking? I told you, right? And they don't want that. Although ultimately, who cares if I'm right for a day and they look like they were wrong? Who freaking cares? You got cap space. Move on. Sign a new player, and then everyone's happy about it, and I praise you. So I don't see what the big deal. But to me, it's like we can't let the media say that we were wrong. We can't let people second guess our plan. So we got to hold on to Jimmy.
Well, they've got Lombardi, so he'll help with that.
Who? I don't know what you're talking about. If the Niners pull off a Deshaun Watson trade, will his contract have a? Oh wow!
Well, I heard Jerry Rice. Doesn't Jerry Rice know a couple of good places?
Don't you think that just the whole public? I mean, the fact that it was so public, isn't he pretty much unofficially blackballed? I mean, who would take that? Like, yeah, I'm good. Let's who? I mean, I don't think I couldn't see it. Couldn't imagine. Shreddy, what do you think, Shreddy? Trade those 3rd round picks for 5th round picks straight up. Trade Jimmy G for 5 5th round picks. Niner win 10 5th round picks. That's what I'm saying, man. Just consolidate all your stuff into round 5. It'll be great. Shreddy says if Brady don't go to the Niners, he needs to go to the Raiders and have his revenge when they meet in 2022, or else LV accepts last place in the AFC West. That would be cool. But it seems like Brady kind of was trying to get away from Tampa, and they were like, no, you thought we were going to do that out of the kindness of our hearts? No. So he was like, all right,